for policemen arrested for 3 million ringgit extortion. 2 more virus patients recover. Thanks for joining us here on News on 2. I'm Brandon Lepal. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Abdul Hamid Bador confirmed the arrest of a police officer and 3 personnel of various ranks regarding an extortion case involving 3 million ringgit. Now, it was alleged that they were extorting a Taiwanese businessman after his drug processing lab in Cheras were raided recently.
We have identified, I think the team has summoned them, called them, and then process of interviewing them.
The 4 suspects, all aged between 37 to 38, were serving at the Selangor Police Criminal Investigation Department's Serious Crimes Division. Meanwhile, Tan Sri Abdul Hamid said fugitive businessman Joe Low is listed in the red notice that was issued by International Police Agency or Interpol. The police chief said any information that claimed otherwise is not true.
Ada pihak mengatakan tak ada red notice, saya minta dia jumpa saya. Ya. Siapa yang kata tak ada red notice, mari jumpa saya. Datang ke office saya. Dia ada macam-macam apa ni lah, kategori ya. Ada 2 kategori dalam Interpol punya apa ni. Satu yang boleh dikongsi bersama orang public. Satu lagi hanya dihadkan kepada penguatkuasa saja.
Meanwhile, on the allegation of Joe Low hiding in Wuhan, Hubei in China, Tan Sri Abdul Hamid said there was some intelligence that alleged the businessman is in the area. Commenting further, Tan Sri Abdul Hamid said the fugitive businessman used to be active in doing business in Wuhan, where the COVID-19 outbreak originated. 2 more COVID-19 patients have fully recovered in Malaysia, bringing the total number of individuals who are still undergoing treatment for the virus to 7. Now, in his daily update on the outbreak, Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad told reporters that there are no new infections as of today. He said one of them is a 65-year-old Malaysian woman who is the mother-in-law of the first Malaysian, a 41-year-old man who tested positive for the coronavirus. The second patient who recovered is a Malaysian man who worked in Macau.
Sebenarnya itu jumlah kes yang telah pulih sepenuhnya dan di-discharge sehingga hari ini adalah 15. KKM juga ingin memaklumkan tiada kes baru alhamdulillah dilaporkan pada hari ini 19 Februari. So we are left with 7.
Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli said this at the Ministry's daily press conference today for updates on the outbreak. The director of a company supplying chips for Malaysian passports to the government today confirmed he had in 2017 personally handed over his colleagues 2 cheques totaling 6 million ringgit to Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi when he was the Home Minister. Now, at the former Deputy Prime Minister's corruption and bribery trial today, Data Sonic Group Berhad Deputy Managing Director Chew Ben Ben, 63, said that the 6 million ringgit payment by his colleague was intended as a political contribution for then-ruling coalition Barisan Nasional or BN and also for long-term prospects. Testifying as the 34th prosecution witness, Chew said he had made the handover following a meeting in mid-April 2017 with Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid. Chew said Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid's political secretary had contacted him at the same time as Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid wanted to meet at his official residence as Deputy Prime Minister at Seri Satria Putrajaya. Chew added that he had gone alone that afternoon to meet Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid at the house where the latter was living alone. Chew said he had at that time an inkling that BN needed political funds for election matters. Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid is accused of having received 2 cheques totaling 6 million ringgit as a bribe as an alleged reward linked to the Home Ministry's award of a 5-year contract to Data Sonic Technologies Sendirian Berhad for the supply of Malaysian passport chips. Now, 3 brothers pleaded not guilty in Port Dickson Magistrates Court for committing riot, loot and defamatory acts in Port Dickson Police Station on Wednesday last week. The accused, M. Anand, 28, M. Puvan, 27, and M. Turai Raja, 31, claimed trial before Magistrate Siti Huzaifa Abdul Talib. The first accused, M. Anand, was also charged for assaulting and causing injury on a 26-year-old victim on the same day in Taman PD Utama in Port Dickson. The first accused could face a maximum of 7 years of prison term or fine, or both under Section 325 of the Penal Code if convicted. He was granted 3,000 ringgit bail for the first charge. For the second charge, the bail was set at 1,000 ringgit under Section 90 of the Police Act 1967 or Act 344. The second and third accused were charged under Section 90 of the Police Act 1967, which carried fine of 500 ringgit or maximum of 6 months prison term or both. Both of them were granted bail of 1,500 ringgit each with a surety. Now, 8 rooms and 10 staff quarters were destroyed in a fire at Uncle Chang's Sipadan Mabul Dive Lodge near Mabul Island, Sempurna, Sabah yesterday. The 5:30 p.m. incident also destroyed the resort's diving shop, restaurant, bar, generator set, compressor room and a nearby village house. The Sabah State Fire and Rescue Department Operations Centre in a statement today said the centre received the distress call at 5:40 p.m, following which 11 members of the Sempurna Fire Station, headed by Kadeh Halalan, boarded a Cavalier boat and moved to the location. However, the firefighters failed to reach the site and had to return to the pier due to the windy and stormy weather. According to the statement, the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency and the Royal Malaysian Navy for Marine Asset Assistance were called as well to bring the firemen to the location, but due to the strong winds and sea conditions, this had also failed. The fire was believed to have originated from one worker's house to the other houses, and resort workers and villagers used diesel water pumps and fire extinguishers to put out the fire. They also had to demolish a bridge to prevent the fire from spreading. No injury or loss of life were reported. Now, a Bilal in Masjid Al-Hasanah Taman Rakyat, Alostar, Kedah, suffered burn injuries on several parts of his body after a stranger threw some oil and burned him. Now, Kota Seta Police Chief ACP Muhammad Rozi Jidin said police is currently tracking down the suspect. 65-year-old Amribuddin suffered injuries on his left side of his body and hand after he was attacked at about 6 a.m. this morning. He was arriving at the mosque and looking at the notice board when he was attacked by the stranger who came at him riding a motorcycle. The suspect threw the oil on the victim before lighting up the fire. The mosque congregation who noticed the assault immediately helped the victim to put out the fire. The victim was sent to Sultan of Perak Hospital for further treatment before lodging a report at Kota Seta Police Station at 9 a.m. The Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, MMEA, yesterday brought out 2 patients from Perhentian Island to the mainland in Tok Bali. Now, Kelantan MMEA Director Captain Muhammad Nur Sham Azmawi Yaakob said they received an emergency call from Perhentian Island Health Clinic at 10:50 a.m. and immediately deployed a rescue boat to the area. In a statement today, he said Perhentian Island Health Clinic had to seek MMEA's help in bringing out the 2 from the island, as the boat operators have to temporarily halt their operation due to the high wave, which is about 3.5 meters. He said the MMEA boats arrived at Tok Bali Jetty around 1:40 p.m. and then sent the 2 to the Besut Hospital via ambulance. The 2 patients are Muhammad Aiman alias 22, who is suffering from a broken backbone, and stroke patient Chan Chi Kyong, 45. Meanwhile, Captain Muhammad Nur Sham reminds the public to always be aware of the weather conditions before conducting any activities. APEC post-2020 vision statement is expected to be finalized during the Senior Officials Meeting, or SOM, in August. APEC 2020 SOM Chairman Hairil Yahri Yaakob said it will compile all reports, recommendations and inputs gathered during the meeting to ensure a comprehensive and inclusive vision statement. Malaysia, as host of the 2020 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC, summit, had been tasked as penholder to prepare the vision statement.
In the post-2020 vision is the key deliverable in our hosting year this year, because as you know, the goals will expire this year from 1994 to 2020. So we heard just now all the reminiscing the Bogo goals, the Osaka Action Plan. But what's next? So this is what this multi-stakeholder dialogue is all about. It's the element of inclusivity, the element of sustainability, and not to forget that we must continue our work based on the three pillars of APEC, which is the trade and investment liberalization, business facilitation, as well as eco-tech.
He added the draft would be further deliberated and discussed by senior officials before it could be presented to ministers and leaders in November. Hairil, who is also International Trade and Industry Deputy Secretary General, International Trade, was met at the multi-stakeholder dialogue on post-2020 vision in Putrajaya. The Labuan Federal Territory Health Department had received its first thermal scanner to screen arrival of passengers for any possible COVID-19 symptoms. The thermal scanner will be placed at Labuan International Ferry Terminal. Director Dr. Ismuni Bohari said it will be mainly used to screen the arrival of tourists at its main sea transportation entry point.
Mesin ini telah pun digunakan sepenuhnya bermula pada hari ini secara official pagi ini untuk digunakan untuk pemantauan bukan sahaja untuk COVID-19 tetapi penyakit-penyakit lain di Labuan ini sebagai salah satu daripada sokongan bagi staf-staf kami untuk menjalankan tugasan dengan lebih berkesan.
The department, he said, will also continue to enhance its monitoring and screening measures at the Labuan Airport entry point to curb the spread of COVID-19. Besides that, it will also collaborate with the sea and maritime agencies to conduct screening on passengers, crew members, goods and vessels seeking permission to dock at the waters of the island. To date, 35,000 passengers, including crew members, entering the island have been screened, and there are no any positive COVID-19 cases detected yet. In order to allow dropout students in Kedah to obtain complete education, the State Education Department has allowed for any dropout students to register in any schools. In order to complete the registration, the parents or guardian need to complete the registration documents of the students. Kedah State Exco Dr. Salmi Said said most of the cases of dropout students in the state are children of couples who registered their marriages in Thailand without the approval of local religious authorities.
Sebagai satu halangan lah untuk anak dia untuk belajar di sekolah-sekolah di seluruh Malaysia ni. Memang itu prosedur dia. KPM akan pastikan zero reject policy itu maksudnya tidak ada pelajar yang tercicir untuk belajar. Semuanya kita galakkan pelajar untuk belajar di sekolah kita dan selesaikan masalah-masalah DRP itu lebih kurang dalam masa setahun lebih masa.
It was reported that in 2018, 799 couples registered their marriages in Thailand without local religious authorities' approval. This number shows an increase of 40% compared to 566 cases in 2017. Now, Religious Affairs Minister Datuk Seri Mujahid Yusof Rawat today defended Lim Guan Eng after the Finance Minister became the target of online attacks over the sale of 4 Tabung Haji hotels. Now, the minister in the Prime Minister's department in charge of religious affairs in a series of tweets said the decision to sell the hotels was his and not Lim's. Now, he said all decisions by the Prime Minister's department to rehabilitate Tabung Haji are in accordance with the Tabung Haji Act. In other news, Sultan of Perak, Sultan Nazrin Muizzuddin Shah, chaired the 256th meeting of the Conference of Rulers at Istana Negara. Now, the Sultan was earlier welcomed by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah before the meeting. Sultan Nazrin then took the salute before an inaugural guard of honor at the main square of Istana Negara. All the Malay rulers attended the meeting except Kelantan was represented by Tengku Mahkota Kelantan, Dr. Tengku Muhammad Faiz Petra. Pahang was represented by Raja Tengku Mahkota Tengku Hasanal Ibrahim Alam Shah, and Selangor was represented by Raja Muda Selangor Tengku Amir Shah. The two-day meeting will also see the participation of the Yang di-Pertua Negeri from Pulau Pinang, Sabah and Sarawak. The Sultans will be accompanied by their respective Menteri Besars, while the Yang di-Pertua Negeri will be accompanied by their chief ministers. With that, we conclude News On 2 this evening. A reminder of our top story: 4 policemen arrested for 3 million ringgit extortion. Join us for updates at noon at 12:30 tomorrow. Till then, I'm Brendan Lupol. Thanks for watching. Good night.